Alright, so it's now time to talk about the games I played during the month of February. And I'll say right off the bat, it's freezing down here in my basement. And unfortunately, the heater broke. So if you hear my teeth chattering, you know why. Anyways, the very first game I played, it's kind of a carryover from January. And I didn't get a chance to finish it in January, but finished it off early February. And it's Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. And I have to say, being a 2D Mario gamer, this one's not too much off of what I'm used to. I've been playing Mario games, back since the original came out, and that's the type of Mario games I like. And this one is very similar. It's not like Mario Sunshine or Galaxy or even Mario 64. It's 3D, but it's kind of has a 2D kind of feel to it. At least that's what I thought about it. The level design is actually another strong suit in this game. Just the way that these developers are able to come up with unique ideas and execute them, after all these years and still make it interesting for someone like me, I'm definitely amazed. And this game is highly recommended. I can't really think of anything too negative to say about this game. I will say I found it a little bit easy. I know a buddy of mine, he's always complaining he can never finish a Mario game because he finds them too hard. But I guess, because I've been playing them most of my life, I didn't find it too difficult. Even the bosses, they were a lot easier than, some of the other games I've played. So definitely worth a pickup. Next, on the 3DS, I also played through Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirrors of Fate. And I played this because I'm interested in the new Lords of Shadow 2. And this kind of fills in some of the gaps between the first one and the second one. And I will say, if you're gonna go on a review of this game, whatever you do, don't go by the IGN review, because the person who did the IGN review absolutely knows nothing about this series, and he basically gave it a 4.7, and he was complaining about controls and how the characters are all different, and by the time you get used to one, you move on to another one, and to me it's total bullshit. If from start to finish, I absolutely had a blast playing as all three characters, and all three characters have unique feels to them that it makes it interesting. If you play through the entire game as one character and you unlocked all the abilities really early, and it would get really boring. But again, this is a 2D Castlevania game. It's not a 3D Castlevania game. So it kind of reminds me of those old Castlevania games on the NES, kind of with a updated graphical, appearance to it. I will say though that I found the bosses pretty easy because they were all kind of quick time events, and for the most part, anyways. You kind of hack and slash and kind of dodge, their attacks, and then it'd kick into a quick time event where you would do the quick time event and kind of move on to the next part of the boss. There's a lot of save points in this game as well, so if you die, you pretty much pick up exactly where you were. I will also say that I didn't play this in 3D, and I tried it, but it hurt my eyes, so I had to turn the 3D off, and I played this all in 2D, but still absolutely loved it. Next, on the PS3, I played through Sniper Elite V2, and this is another good game. It's not great. It has good aspects to it, and I do recommend this game. I thoroughly enjoyed this one as well. What I did is you can do a custom difficulty on this, and I did it on the second hardest difficulty. I don't remember what they call it, but I also kind of made it so that the sniping is realistic sniping. So that means you basically have to take into account the gravity and the wind. So it can be tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, it definitely feels more rewarding than just putting the guy's head right in the middle of the crosshair and shooting. Taking into gravity into effect, it's hard to even measure that. The winds you can kind of see with flags blowing in the background, but gravity, it's just something you have to get used to. The missions are all different. They're all very fun to play through. The downside to this game, and it's always been with the Sniper Elite games, is the sniping is really good, but the other weapons don't hold up. The MP40, the pistols, the controls for those types of things, and the fact that they're not as strong as the sniper rifle. If you have to resort to any of these weapons, you're pretty much dead. So the goal for this is to try and stay at a distance and stay concealed and be able to stay unnoticed. And that's really difficult to do at times. So still highly recommend this game. I really did enjoy it though. Next on the PS2, I played through Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend. And this reminds me of the first 3 PS1 games, Tomb Raider PS1 games. And it's kind of, I don't know if they consider this a reboot of the Tomb Raider series. I'm not, maybe the reboot really started with Tomb Raider Anniversary, but I know Angel of Darkness and that one I picked up recently, I don't remember what it's called. Those were kind of lowlights in this series. And this one here is actually, it's a lot of fun. The story is a little out there, but for the most part it reminds me of those old platforming Tomb Raider games. I will say though that the new reboot of it on the PS3 is a lot better than this, but this is still definitely worth a playthrough. Moving on to the Sega Genesis, I actually played a little bit of Madden 97, and I played this, as I mentioned before, during the Super Bowl. That entire weekend I was playing this game, and I have to say I'm not a fan. And this is probably one of the few games I wasn't into. And I'll explain why, is because I'm a big football fan. I enjoy watching football, I enjoy going to the games and seeing it live. I don't like playing them. And the reason being is, I'm going through all the plays, and it takes me probably 30 seconds just to pick out a play that I may want to do. And then, I get to the action, and it's like 10 seconds of action, and then I gotta pick a play again. And this just repeats over and over and over again. It just doesn't translate well, and it's not as much fun as, let's say, the Blitz series is. I know this is supposed to be a little bit more realistic, but I mean, not really my cup of tea. And I'm thinking about keeping it or not. I'm not 100% sure if I will yet or not, so we'll see. I did also play through Road Rash 2, and I like this game, obviously. I used to play this. I played the first one when I was younger. I never got the second one. And I have to say the Road Rash series has always been one of those series that's just so much fun to play. We usually start the races, especially if I was playing with a friend, we just start the races and we wouldn't care, what place we actually finished in. It was more or less who can beat the shit out of everyone else while we're playing. And that was the fun about it. It's just like Hang On, except you can beat someone with a chain or a billy club or a crowbar, or you can just knock them off the road, and that's what makes this game fun. Again, I didn't care what place I finished in. I just worried about finishing the race and kicking as much ass as I could while I was doing it. So highly recommend this game. I really enjoyed it. And that's the part I enjoy about it, is just beating everyone up. And the last game I played during the month of February is SpiderMan on the Genesis. And this game, it's okay. It's nothing great. I have to say that there's just a few levels that may take a little time to finish. Most of the time, the open world levels kind of thing, I would swing right through them all. and go right to the boss. I'd bypass everybody on there just by swinging my web and just go straight to the boss. It wasn't difficult at all. The bosses are very difficult, but the levels, other than a couple where you have to backtrack and go forward and make your way through this big maze of stuff, I mean, this game is really easy. Again, other than the bosses are hard as hell. So yeah, that's SpiderMan. And I do actually have one more game to show you, but I forgot it in the other room, so give me 1 second. Alright, so the last game I played during the month of February is Mech Commander on the PC. And this game is actually one of the games that got me back into gaming. As I mentioned many times before, there's a long period where I didn't play any games at all. And I started into PC gaming probably around 1999 and got back into gaming that way and eventually moved on to the PS3 in 2006. I will say though that this game here is a lot different than the other mech games. It's a real-time strategy game, and basically what you do is you control a squad of mechs and you get to choose whatever mechs you want to put in there. There is a weight limit though, and each mech weighs a different amount. Also, you can customize each mech with different weapons and different loadouts, and you also get to put in certain pilots. Each pilot has different skills and they improve as you play along in the game. This game is, for the most part, it's pretty easy. There are levels that you're going to have to play through quite a few times to beat because they're damn right hard, some of them. Especially that last level. That last level will kick your ass. And the main goal in this game is to basically level up your pilots to the elite status just for that last level. Because without elite pilots, then you're not going to stand a chance, basically. What I love about this game, though, is there's so much detail to it. Your pilots can die during a mission. A lot of times they eject out of their mechs, and you really have to think about what you're going to do prior to actually doing it. I will also say that this that's the user manual for the game. It's 193 pages. And this is something I've looked through many times, and it has details about the all the weapons, and it even outlines all the mechs, and gives you what their advantages are, what they do. A lot of mechs are good for close combat. Some are good at a distance, and it just kind of helps you along with the game. And I've read through this thing so many times now that it's one of the reasons why I got really into this game. So that is Mech Commander. I'm thinking about doing a little bit more of an in-depth kind of look into this game because it's one of those games I absolutely love, and I think people should play it. And a lot of people, when they think about the mech universe, they think about Mech Warrior and Mech Assault. But the Mech Commander games are absolutely great themselves, first and second one. So at some point I may get into doing kind of a more in-depth review on games like this. So anyways, that is the games I've played during the month of February. And until next time, take care.